My name is Hayden Hollingsworth. I'm the head softball coach at Peachtree High School. I'm going into my third year doing it, and I've loved being a Lion. So for our program, we have a bunch of awards. We have varsity MVP, JV MVP, most improved player, offensive MVP, coaches award, Bubba Wilson award, and then we have our school's Lion award. I think all of those awards kind of create not only goals for the student athletes throughout the season, but it just makes them want to produce for the overall success of our program. And then seeing at the end of the year when we have our banquet, then receiving those awards, I think it just shows that they put in the work to kind of make it pay off, and it means a lot to them to get those awards at the end of the season. Yeah, so the Bubba Wilson Award, Bubba Wilson, he actually coached my wife when she played here. He was a coach for, I think it was 25 years, and meant a lot to this place. He kind of started the program, took really great care of the field, and had a lot of success in his time here. But he left this place in a really good spot, and so when I came in, I tried to do everything that I could to keep his name a part of this program, just because of everything that he's done for it and all the success that he's had. And that's what I'm trying to do here is try to be somebody like he is. So the last 2 years we've had two great girls win it. The first year was Claire Masvac. The second year was Kate Lovejoy. And I think what those girls did is not only showed great enthusiasm towards the game of softball, but also towards the program as a whole. Those are also two girls who weren't even softball players, who came from lacrosse, just wanted to start softball and be around, and them being around it created a really good environment and community within the team. And just the way that they carry themselves every day and the work that they put in says everything that it does about them and getting that award. So the Coaches Award is always a player that you don't have to ask a lot of. They come in to this program and they already know what the expectations are, and they try to implement that with everybody on the team. Also somebody that you're able to push a lot harder, and they kind of accept that challenge. Yeah, I think it's just based on our coaching staff, who we feel like is a leader on the team, where we can kind of sit back and just coach, and they can kind of go on the field and make sure everybody is held to the same standard. I remember some awards that I received. I think the first one that stuck out, I was in 12U playing travel ball, and I won the Golden Glove Award. And having that little glove it meant a lot to me, just because it showed that the effort that I put in and all the work I did. But I think the most important one that I ever got was the Row the Boat Award. That was an award that I got my senior year of high school. That was our word throughout the year was row. So doing that and knowing that I played a big part in creating a culture for my high school program really meant a lot to me. Okay, so I have my own personal player contract, and it requires our girls to have I think it's a 3.3 GPA, but also it requires them to not be absent in class without an accepted excuse, to not be tardy to their classes. So I always try to keep up with who their teachers are, and I always send an email out to the teachers letting them know what our roster is, just in case there are any problems. The last 2 years we've had a bunch of Scholar Athlete Awards, so I think our softball team does a really good job of making the classroom important, and I think if you can make every little thing important, you're going to have a lot more success on the field. Honestly, last year Taco Mac helped us out a lot with providing meals for our team before games. So I was trying to figure out something to do. I think if we had just gone with a plaque like a lot of people do, I don't think you would have walked inside of Taco Mac and seen that and made it stick out. But now when you walk into that Taco Mac and you see a big Peachtree Ridge softball jersey with the year that Taco Mac started. I think it just stands out. It looks really good. We put one of our team photos in there as well. I think it makes our sponsors feel more appreciated, and knowing that not only we have their back, but they're going to continue to have our back as well. So I actually just heard about it. I think it is a great opportunity for student athletes to get something, to get a plaque that shows that they did so much for their school in their sport for that month. So being able to have All-American specialties give an award like that to student athletes, I think says a lot about the company that they have and the people that work for them. I started off at Brookwood High School as an assistant coach. I think I always knew that I wanted to be a head coach. When I got the job, I was actually 24 years old, which I was probably one of the youngest coaches in Gwinnett County. I mean, even as an assistant, you try to prepare, you try to learn from the head coach there. But even when you get into it for the first time, you're getting thrown into the fire. Luckily, I had a lot of connections that I could reach out to people for help. But what I have realized, especially going into year 3, is that you can't go into a new coaching position or being a head coach for the first time and thinking that you know it all. I think my first year, there were a lot of things that I needed to learn. The second year, I tried to make adjustments, but it didn't really work out. And so now this third year, I've tried to change everything. Putting your ego aside and thinking that you're just the greatest coach of all time, and knowing that there's always growth that you need to be able to make, I think goes a long way, especially me going into this third year. I've tried to change a lot, and I'm hoping it works, but I mean, if it doesn't, I know I tried something different, and I can adjust and change the next year if I have to. So always being able to adapt to what the environment gives you. So I think a lot about the incoming freshmen that we have this year. I think it's just and last year, we had a big freshman class last year, but coming in knowing that things are going to be different. When you play travel ball in 8th grade, you're playing against all the same competition. When you come in as a freshman, when you're playing all of these Gwinnett County 7A schools, which is the best county in softball, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion. But you could be 14 years old facing an 18-year-old in the circle, and that's not something that you are really comfortable with yet. So just going in, kind of understanding that and knowing that there's going to be growing pains, but also looking to the older girls that have been around for a long time and kind of looking to them for advice, and showing up when they show up, and being present is really important to me. And I know that these freshmen that we have coming in this year are going to be able to do that. I grew up in Nashville. My kind of coaching idol is Tim Corbin from Vanderbilt University. And actually we had a Vandy boy at Peachtree High School this year. He was on our coaching staff last year. But he brought to me his Vandy Boy notebook. And what Tim Corbin does is they have allocated classroom times for their student athletes, and they have a notebook that is their cheat sheet to everything. And they use that classroom time to talk about anything other than softball. So this year I've gone in, I've created notebooks for every single one of our players. We have guest speakers over the summer from 8 to 9 o'clock. I have players like Kennedy Harp, who is at FSU, Madison Jenkins, who's at Florida A&M, Rhea Taylor, who graduated from here, who was a 5-time Olympic gold medalist. But it's just going to kind of get their mind off of softball and not only help them in the game of softball, but help them a lot more in life. So I'm really excited about them focusing on things that will make them better young women. I think a lot of people treat young women in a different way now. And I think that we can still coach them tough on the field, but I think preparing them in life and letting them know how that's going to work and future experiences is going to be a lot more beneficial for them. Prepare them to lead in a job one day, prepare them to lead in a family one day. And that's a lot of the stuff that I'm focusing on this year, and hopefully it leads to success on the field. Tony is a trip. I met him 4 years ago when I started off at Brookwood High School, and luckily I've been able to keep that relationship with him now at my time at Peachtree Ridge. Tony is one of the best guys that I know, and glad that I have the relationship with him that I do. And knowing that when we get late into the season, I'm scrambling to get these awards done. He does everything he can to make it happen and make it a really good experience, not only for me, not only for the parents of the girls on our team, but also for the girls on our team. And I know that I and every team member that we have appreciates him a whole lot.